and here we go.
There's the deluge. Here's ignition.
Doubling up.
Did you just do a Kerbal?
Back to the moon and beyond.
Put that in the big bag, you know.
Back at home, we all have a lot of work to do, but from here, that sure looks like a perfect flow.
Propulsion continues to be normal.
We did have an observation.
Equalizer.
343 unfolds to go.
It's orange.
Water towers can fly!
Bingo! Right in the center.
Where's Jacqueline? There it is!
That was surreal.
That's not what we want to see.
No!
Oh my god.
Yikes. You bet. We don't need any more of these.
Well. So it's come to this. We are again on a Starlink launch. And it's late night Starlink launch, I guess. But yeah, so you see, it's very late at night out there in Florida. This is going to be the launch live stream of Starlink 1049 out of the Cape. And it's very late, and that means you're going to get stuck with me, Alex, here on commentary for hosting this live stream. Now, I'm not going to be alone. I'm also going to be... I'm the only one in studio, but out there in the field, we also have Max Evans. Max, how are you doing?
Good morning, everybody. I'm doing, Alex, as you were saying, it's a very late night, or more probably appropriately, it is a very early morning now.
Very early, yeah.
It's almost 4:40 a.m. here on the east coast of Florida, but there's a Falcon 9 on the pad. It is the Falcon 9 fleet leader, and we are launching pretty close to sunrise, so we might get a pretty good light show here towards the end, so it's going to be a good morning.
And also with you is D-Wise. Hi, D-Wise. How are you doing?
Hello. Yes, it is an early morning. That I've got clear skies, lots of stars in the sky, so I'm actually not at the same location as Max. I've gone up a bit north to hopefully get some great views a little bit farther into flight, and maybe some more of the jelly there. I don't, so I can't even see the launch pad right now, but I do have stars, so that's what I can provide in the pre-launch, and actually a bit of lightning in the very far distance.
I need to know which constellation any of those stars are.
I think Orion is actually rising above pad 40 right now to the east, so I think that may be... I'm trying to find the...
Oh, is that Orion on the bottom there?
I'm trying to find
above
its
what
belt.
it says is launching 29 Starlink. I think that's the belt.
It's definitely not Orion. I'm looking
is
well off above and to the left of where Orion is. I can move to Orion momentarily.
Oh, wow. Then those three stars are just too well positioned, I guess.
Yeah, Orion is like
case.
it's laying on its side right now, so it's coming up like on its right-hand side.
Yeah. Here we go. We're doing stargazing now here. I mean, we're about to see a Starlink launch, so it was also kind of a stargazing, I guess.
Trying to find some of the key stars here.
Wow. Ooh, bright stars. There we go.
I think is that its belt right there?
That should be Orion's belt there.
And the nebula there on the bottom right.
Nice.
Anyway, distractions.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I thought your camera was actually less zoomed in than I thought. Those stars are really closer than I expected. But in any case, folks, we also have as well our producer in the background. Wow. Speaking of background, you can also see a lot of lightning. But yeah, before I get my own lightning bolt here from our producer, Jay Keegan, for not mentioning him, because he's going to be pushing all the buttons and pulling all the levers. And you know what happens when you don't shout out the producer? They mute you. The lightning bolt, as I just said. But, there's another thing about this mission. It's not your ordinary Starlink mission, as Sawyer will say if he was here. There's a certain booster flying in this mission, and it's a record booster. But I know. It's every single time it flies, especially lately. It's always the same thing because of the meme and the numbers and the things. And so it's a funny number. It used to be not a funny number back in my days. It used to be a different number in my case. But that one got expended a few weeks ago on a different mission.
Yeah.
So yeah, you may not want to enrage the mods or Nightbot in chat if you go and spam the number. But yeah, that's my take on this. In any case, Max, can you? I just mentioned the booster. Can you tell us a little bit about this record booster? Because it's like 37th flight. Just a quick sort of review if you want.
Yeah, so the funny number you're hinting at, of course, this is beloved booster B1067, and this is its 37th assigned flight to date. So it is the Falcon 9 fleet leader by at least 2 missions now, assuming this goes off on time. The second place holder, I believe, is 1063 in Vandenberg, I think, at 35 flights now. But yeah, this booster has had a very long life. It flew for the first time back in May of 2021 with the CRS-22 mission, and just going down the list of its flight history here. We have Crew 3, Türksat 5B, Crew 4, CRS-25, Eutelsat Hotbird 13G, SES-03B mPOWER A, PSN Satria, Telecomsat Merah Putih 2, Galileo, Koreasat 6A, and 25 previous Starlink missions. So no shortage of history and lineage, I guess, might be fair to say, or legacy. I might be better with this booster. Jay's daring me to read all of these Starlink missions. I don't. Okay, I'm going to omit the word Starlink from every single one, but here we go.
Just say the numbers. Yeah.
Yeah. So. Starlink 434, 52, 55, 59, 610, 622, 629, 635, 645, 655, 85, 83, 670, 1212, 12.8, 673, 683, 1025, 1011, 1017, 692, 6104, 1044, 1035, and 1042 on top of today's mission being 1049. Good golly, that was a mouthful. But yeah, guys, we don't see this booster fly too often anymore, especially with the reduced Falcon 9 launch cadence from Florida. So it is an extra special treat, and especially seeing it fly so close to sunrise, as Dee was kind of hinting at earlier, we might get a bit of a jellyfish later into stage 2 flights. So should be a good one this morning. But supporting the booster about 8.5 minutes into flight, the booster should be landing on the recovery drone ship, a Shortfall of Gravitas, stationed about 600 kilometers downrange, located northeast of the east coast of Florida, kind of between North and South Carolina. And of course, the vessel recovering the fairings today is the fairing recovery vessel Doug. So kind of business as usual for SpaceX for these missions as much as they go, but in a way it's not, Alex, as you were saying, because number one, Falcon 9 first stage fleet leader booster, and an enlarged ascent NOTAM corridor, because it's a heavily flown booster, and every single time it flies now, because there's no other booster that has flown more than it, we're sort of in unknown territory, and that's why covering this booster is not nerve-wracking, not nervous. It's just like your ears are, like, your attention is a bit more focused on whenever this booster flies compared to most, because we don't know what can happen. We still don't know exactly how far Falcon 9 boosters can be pushed to this point.
One thing that I do find interesting is that at least it's a little bit smaller than the previous flight. You see what I just posted in Control Center?
Yeah, I see that now.
It was longer in the previous mission. It's still longer than a usual flight, but shorter this time around.
It looks wider though in that little extension this time.
Yeah.
So very strange. Yeah, it's very strange.
There we go. Jay has just changed it to the previous flight.
Yes.
Is he gonna do like a back and forth?
Yeah, A-B.
There we go.
There we go. Yeah, look at that. It's really, really clear. Okay, so no, it's the same width. It's been literally just had the head cut off of it this time.
Yeah.
But yeah, we don't know exactly how far Falcon 9 can be pushed. The current milestone goal for Falcon 9 is 40 flights for reuse. And this is the only booster really that's close to that number. The other being 1063 at 35, I believe. And there's also a handful of other boosters at or above 30 flights as well. So, but Alex, with the reduced Falcon 9 launch cadence, I'm not even sure this booster might make it to 40 at this rate, to be honest.
Yeah, that's a bit of a head scratcher. I mean, it's one of those things like you look at the manifest for the next few months, and there's not another Starlink for a few, like, or at all. Like there's nothing. Like Crew 13 should be next after this, and then you've got one of the O3B mPOWER missions, which, by the way, this booster launched some of those satellites as well, way back in the days, right? You've got another CRS mission with a Dragon spacecraft going in October. You've got Manwagon 5, but it's like after that we have no idea. There's no Starlink in between those missions, or at least we have no idea about any of that, right? Like we will see some signs that some of those things will be planned ahead of time or something like that. And right now there's not at all, and so it's odd. And this booster has been flying Starlink missions for quite a while. I mean, I can look it back up to see when it was the last customer mission that it did. Yeah, that was its 23rd flight back in November 2024 with Koreasat 6A. So that was a long time ago.
Dang,
that
that
it
was
did
a
a
long
customer
time
mission.
ago.
Yeah, I mean 13 flights ago, 14 once it launches this one. So yeah, there you go. Next space flight, you can also look that up for yourself. If you go nextspaceflight.com, look up this mission, then go to the booster, and then see full manifest, and then you can scroll down to see when the last customer mission was for this booster. And as you can see, it's all Starlinks until there. See, Koreasat 6A, November 11th, 2024. I'm more impressed that it did the previous one, which was the Galileo one. Because the first Galileo mission on Falcon 9 was expendable, but the second one, they tried landing the booster like really at the edge of the limits of the landing and everything in terms of the performance, and they did it with this booster. And then they went on and reflew again like 14 more times after that, which is crazy. But yeah, it's only doing Starlink missions. So unless they move it, like, let's face it, we're close to Starship launching Starlinks, right? Or at least SpaceX thinks they're very close, right? And let's hope it does for the sake of the future of Starship and all that. But the point that I'm trying to make here is that with no more Starlink launches in the horizon out of the Cape, whereas from Vandenberg there's still many more, right? There's like a bunch more Starlinks being scheduled and everything. It begs the question, like, are we close to the end of Starlink on Falcon 9 from the Cape, right? And if so, then that probably means maybe B1067 will have to go to the West Coast if it wants to continue launching, right?
No. Don't you dare.
I don't want that. Can we
I mean, the alternative,
Blasphemy.
the alternative is having it being expended on a mission. Just saying.
Or just like retiring it and putting it in a museum somewhere or on display.
Oh well. We'll see what they do.
I vote for museum or just continuing to fly and recover it here on the East Coast.
It would be pretty rad to have it in the rocket garden over at the visitor complex. Just saying.
Yeah.
Well, SpaceX, if you're listening, that's what our Florida team is saying. I think they should fly it more, but hey, if there's a customer willing to fly on a 38th flight of a booster, maybe, but we'll see. In any case, I've got a few questions here pertaining the lightning that we've seen, because it's rather ironic because we're seeing that lighting in the background, but I believe the weather for launch is not that bad, right, T? Like, how's the weather for today?
Yeah, so, I mean, y'all have been seeing the lightning, you've been pointing out the lightning, and rightfully you've been like, hey, isn't lightning a concern? And if it were closer, it would be. But thankfully, like, this is Florida. It is a very flat state. We are looking out onto the ocean, and so we can see the lightning for such a long distance, and that lightning is all like tens of miles, might be close to 50 miles offshore. So at that distance, it is not a concern at all. And of course, the 45th Weather Squadron is keeping an eye on anything that could be a risk. And so those concerns are the cumulus cloud rule as well as the anvil cloud rule. But those are all really minor concerns. You can see there, this is a 90% go. There's only a 10% probability of violation. And then even on the additional risk criteria, the booster recovery weather is good, as is the solar activity. And so, I mean, I'm looking up, you can see it's clear skies. It's just the extreme distance where there's anything of concern. So, I mean, this is just about as good as you get weather-wise, which is part of the reason SpaceX is going for these early morning / late night sorts of missions, because in the summer, the weather is super unpredictable, especially in the afternoon. So moving as much to early morning as you can is the best way to get these good odds weather-wise.
Well, thankfully, it is the Falcon 9 and not the Roadrunner 9, so the Anvil clouds will not have to be worried about hitting this rocket.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
Really? Really? I didn't realize we had like Sawyer on a stream with us right now.
It is what, 5 a.m. almost now? So yeah, we gotta keep going, right?
We are still
We need to
well
keep the
into silly
spirits
hours
up.
right now.
Exactly. We gotta keep our spirits up. I forgot because of the many things that a host needs to do. Sometimes you forget things. I forgot to say, if you are in chat and you want to ask your questions, tag at NASA Space Flight in chat or at NSF. At NSF is probably shorter for you if you want to have a really long question in chat, but you do you boo, right? And so you leave your question, it goes into our panel, and then I can queue it and put it out there in the ticker like I just did with this question in particular about the weather. So yeah, there you go. So weather, good for launch. The lighting in the background, I mean, I don't know how far out from the launch side you are, D, but we're seeing the stars before, so I guess that begs, like, that is really a good sign that there's clearances, at least in terms of the clouds not being in the way, right? Like, yeah, we can see there lots of stars. Is that a nebula as well in the top? So
I think there is one in there, and yeah, like I don't think I can actually see any of the clouds. It's only really low on the horizon where the stars start to get blocked, and then occasionally there's that lightning. I'll see if I can frame to get some of that in a bit. But I mean, as far as clear skies,
Woo! Satellite,
it is
there.
clear skies.
You see it above, at the top. It's moving.
Oh
Might be
yeah,
a
look at that.
Oh
starlight or
yeah,
Yeah.
nice. All right, someone tell me what that satellite is.
I got no idea. By how fast it's going, it's probably a low Earth orbit satellite, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was a Starlink, because there are many of those.
If it was, look out for one like right behind it here in a few seconds, maybe.
It does bode well, because that means that it's getting illuminated by the sun.
Yep.
So it must be. I mean, we are still about an hour and a half away from sunrise or something like that. A little bit more.
So the current T0 of 5:33 a.m. local time is about an hour and 20 odd minutes away from sunrise, which usually is pretty early for a really vibrant jellyfish here on the east coast of Florida. But maybe we'll see that later into stage 2's phase of flight. But if anything, that will for sure lead to some really neat-looking noctilucent clouds on the horizon as the sun rises and the sky begins to change color and lighting up the exhaust remnants from Falcon 9's both first stage and second stage. So even though to be completely honest, the jellyfish this morning may be completely underwhelming, but either way, we will still see some effects of its exhaust and the sun rising at some point after launch for sure.
Yeah, Peter Thompson here was asking about a chance of jellyfish, and I was sort of cueing you with that question as well, because in order to see the satellite that we were seeing, right, it needed to be illuminated by the sun, and so it's like either it's very high up, because I mean to get illuminated, we're about almost 2 hours still from sunrise, so it might not actually be a Starlink satellite if it's getting illuminated. Like it might be like a OneWeb or something like that, which is like 1,000 kilometers in altitude, so it's way higher, right, than a Starlink satellite. But the other thing you were saying, perhaps it might not be super overwhelming, right? Because it's gonna be a little bit too early in the morning, and so it's gonna be a little bit further out from sunrise. But somebody else was asking, Cristo Arroyo here, saying, "Can we see the space jelly in the Carolinas?" And we were talking before we went live, that perhaps downrange the jellyfish might be a little bit more not underwhelming, so just whelming. But yeah, one of the things as well is that so first of all, there's also John Krause. He made this really interesting website as well to look at the jellyfish, like the chances and where it could be seen. And as you can see, towards Florida, like the greener the color, it's like the more overwhelming, if you can call it like that, right? The better you can see
green
a
is
jellyfish, right?
Green is essentially big, bright jellyfish. Like that's
Exactly.
that's essentially what green means. And red is like really teetering on the line of seeing of barely seeing anything at all. So essentially, what this is pointing out
Florida
is
in yellow.
if you are up the east coast of the U.S., whether it be in Georgia, the Carolinas, even heading up to D.C. and Pennsylvania, even or well into New England, go outside and look to the east or southeast. You will see maybe one of the best displays of light and color from a rocket in the sky that you may have ever seen. Like, this is prime time for you guys. Please go outside, and if you grab any photos or videos, please post them on all socials and tag us and as much as you can, because we would love to see them. We always love to see them. And you guys are like right in the prime spot. So please go outside and look to the east once the time comes.
Yeah, with the sunrise being a little bit later after the flight, it'll be probably during the second stage flight, right? Somebody else was asking as well.
Yeah,
it'll be a stage separation like we saw a few days back. I think it was. I think I lost the. Oh yeah, here. Yeah, from Jerry Park and where's Jerry? They were asking as well. But yeah, do you think we'll see a cool stage separation into the night like last week? Maybe not, right? Might be a little bit later into the second stage.
Well, last week was a return to launch site mission, so that the booster was turning around and performing a boost back burn, which is where you get that crazy nebula. But the booster is heading downrange this morning, and it does not need to perform a boost back burn. So if we are going to see any effects, I suspect it's going to be well into stage 2 flight. I don't think we'll see anything on the booster side, but I have no way to be absolutely precise on that. I could be wrong, and my statement from earlier could be aging like milk, and we could have an absolutely wonderful light show here this morning. But we'll have to wait and find out.
I do remember there was a time, I think it was like a couple of years ago, where you said, "Oh, there's not going to be a jellyfish. It's going to be very underwhelming,"
Yes.
And then it was an amazing jellyfish. So we'll see. But hey, look, it's okay, right?
I may have to eat my words once again, but we'll have to wait and find out.
Yeah, and of course, to find that out, we'll have to get into propellant load. Right now, if everything is still tracking that launch at 5:33 a.m. Eastern Time, they should be undergoing propellant load right now. But when will we see this kind of thing? Maybe D, you can talk us through a little bit of what are the few things to look out for here in the next few minutes?
Yeah, so at T-minus 38 minutes, that is when the launch director will actually be giving that go for launch. And once that propellant load has started, that's when they are locked into their T0. So the propellant load actually starts at the T-minus 35 minute mark. That's when it's RP1 loading on the first stage and second stage, and the LOX loading starting on the first stage. That'll continue for a while, and then right around the T-minus 20 minute mark, that's when they start chilling down the lines to prepare for loading the liquid oxygen for the second stage. And that is when there is the best vent, of course. And as they get closer and closer to launch, a lot of events happen in more rapid succession. And Alex, you say frost already?
Yeah, we can see it right there. That was one of the things, as you were mentioning, they load the first stage with liquid oxygen. It's very cold, so that produces that frost, that condensation around the booster. So yay, that's confirmation that they are indeed into propellant load.
If anything, it's not like they have a whole bunch of room to play with this morning, because they are already at the end of their launch window this morning. Normally, these Starlink missions have around a 4-hour launch window, but this one, this T0 is about 13 minutes away from the end of the launch window, which also means it's probably the last opportunity. But either way, they are into prop load now, and we are going for a launch at 5:33 a.m. Eastern Time.
Indeed, that is very great news, because that means, as you were mentioning, it sets them up for that 5:33 a.m. Eastern T0. But yeah, they didn't have a lot of more room in that window, so we had to see some kind of propellant load at any point soon. Otherwise, we will have gone to tomorrow. But let's not think about that. Let's not make that a thing.
Let's not go there, Alex.
Yeah,
let's not go there.
Let's not summon that kind of demon. Let's see. We've got a few questions here. We can hit some of those as well. Yeah, we have. Oh, yeah. It's a Starship launch, but I'm sure some of you might be interested out there if you are also watching this launch on Starship as well. Will they try to catch Starship on the next launch? And one of the things about this is that we actually had a conversation about it on the last Flame Trench, especially here with Max, because I know you and I were there. And we're talking about, are they going to be doing a catch? Are they not going to be doing a catch? So do we still think that they're going to be doing any catches or not doing any catches? Because it didn't seem to me that they were planning any sort of catches for the next flight of Starship.
No, I mean, the paperwork is there to at least bring the booster back, but for those with keen memories will know the booster has not exactly performed as desired from SpaceX on the past couple of flights. So that being said, I think we still have at least one more flight to go with a ship splashing down. And that's because it's kind of risky to send ship to orbit for the first time and then try to bring it back for a catch on the first time it goes orbital. That incurs a lot of risk in my eyes. So to me, the logical next step would be to send ship orbital and then try and bring ship back for a splashdown from orbit. Before going on for a potential ship catch on Flight 15, maybe a double catch with the booster if all goes well on that side on Flight 14 as well. So, I don't think there's going to be a catch of any sort on Flight 14, but if the mission goes well, Flight 15 might be one of the greatest missions that we've seen in quite a long time.
Yeah, once they actually start, launching these Starship launches more often, and of course from the Cape as well, soon enough we'll get a lot of really good action in terms of catches. Might be a few more splashdowns left, but we'll see. Of course, one of the big things that we are hoping to see as well, not just that catch on whatever Starship launch it may happen, but also like every single time Starship launches and then gets caught, it's an RTLS, right? Falcon 9s or Falcon Heavies, RTLSs are a little bit more rare with Falcon, right? The return to launch sites, those landings. However, next, or rather later this week, actually, the next flight out of the Cape after this one should be the Roman Space Telescope launch on Falcon Heavy. So we're going to get a double booster landing out of that as well, and we'll be covering that as well with some special coverage about 2 hours prior to launch. We're going to be going live for that one. But yeah, there we can see the fairing for the Roman Space Telescope. It rolled out this morning, or rather late night yesterday. I don't remember exactly which time, but it rolled out a few hours ago. So it's gone already to the launch pad, and it should be getting integrated with the rocket. There we can see the Roman Space Telescope in all its glory, encapsulated around Falcon Heavy's fairing, same fairing as any other Falcon 9.
It's kind of wild. Yeah. From this angle, with this wide angle lens, this almost looks like the extended Falcon Heavy payload fairings, which is kind of weird. But yeah, this Alex, you were saying that it's rare to have an RTLS Falcon mission anymore, but it's even more rare to have a Falcon Heavy mission at all anymore because despite Falcon Heavy being 8 years old now, over now, probably 8.5 years old now, it's only flown 12 times to this point. This will be its 13th. So to put that in perspective, as it stands at this moment right now, Starship Super Heavy has flown more than Falcon Heavy, despite debuting 8 years ago. So that really puts some context into just how special it is to see a Falcon Heavy fly, especially when it is carrying a very special NASA science mission like this. So this will be launching on hopefully on Sunday morning at 7:26 a.m. local time, right after sunrise. So that will lead to hopefully some spectacular imagery from the whole team here. But we are very, very happy that hopefully this weekend could be the next launch of a Falcon Heavy, and then we should have one more, I believe, after Nancy Grace Roman, being the Griffin Mission 1 mission. Maybe in November-ish timeframe, somewhere in there. We'll have to see how that pans out. But Falcon Heavy is a very, very special beast, and the transporter erector there at pad 39A was just recently lifted yesterday to pick up its base structure and then brought back horizontal. I think it was today or yesterday also, or maybe it was tonight. I'm not sure, but we should be expecting to see that roll back into the hangar over at LC 39A to pick up all three booster cores of a Falcon Heavy. And they might roll it out for a static fire. We're not quite sure yet. They don't always static fire Falcon Heavy anymore, like they used to. But we'll have to wait and see. But Sunday is quickly approaching, so we should see it rolling back out for a static fire soon if they are going to do that.
Yeah, and you can see it as well for people that may not check too often on Space Coast Live. There's a bit of a change at 39A, which is the fixed service structure. They have removed all of the cladding eventually. Like they removed part of the cladding a few years ago. Now they've removed the entirety of the cladding on that tower, so it's more like a see-through tower now than before. And also another change is that they repainted again the water tower, and they put the X logo on that water tower, which is interesting.
It's weird because we've watched the FSS change over the course of a few years. It was at one point full of black cladding that really didn't age well as time went on, between a mix of Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy missions, especially with Falcon Heavy. But we gradually saw some cladding being removed last year, and we've seen the rest of it removed this week, I think it was. So the FSS kind of, in a way, looks like it did 5, 6, 7 years ago now, which is kind of strange. But we are not really going to see Falcon missions launching from there anymore, besides Falcon Heavy and maybe Falcon 9 if the need arises. But given the lack of Falcon 9 cadence as of late, and how much less it's going to get, I can't really see them having an issue with Pad 40 availability.
Yeah. And one of the other things, because it sort of ties in with a thing that happened earlier in the stream, because we were showing the stars before, and I saw 3 stars in a line, and I thought that was the Orion Belt, because I thought we were zoomed in more into, or rather zoomed out more in the sky than I thought. And then when D showed the actual Orion Belt, it was like really spread out, and so way out there. And so I thought, wow, that's actually way zoomed in than I thought. So that is basically how it's going to feel with Roman. Just to get a glimpse, perhaps, as to what we're going to be talking about when that launches. And one of the things of Roman is that it's got a really zoomed out view, I guess, of the universe. But D, like, what's that camera that we're using? Like, what's the focal length of that one?
So the view you're looking at right now is about 200 millimeters equivalent. So my goal here is, like, later in flight to have a little bit more of the sort of jellyfish effect. And this is a really bright camera lens, so that hopefully should show up nicely with the second stage. But if you were here for the Global Star mission and we had the RTLS, and my shot I was using for that one was on my telescope, and so that one, rather than like 200 millimeters, that was at 4,000 millimeters.
Yeah. Which sort of goes back to what I mentioned, right? One of them had a longer focal length, the other one had a shorter focal length. All that relates to how much of the sky can you see at once, right? Like it gets you the field of view. And that's one of the really big things with Roman. Roman is sort of like the one that you were showing before, the one that is a little bit more zoomed out, right? As I said, it's not a technical term, but you can get what I mean by zoomed out. Whereas Hubble is more like zoomed in. And James Webb is also zoomed in. It's like really, really tight shots and things like that. Whereas again, Roman is like super big, right? Super zoomed out and still not losing any resolution out of that. It's still like Hubble-like resolution. So you can imagine how many beautiful shots, really complete shots, instead of having to stitch some smaller sections and some smaller shots to make a bigger shot. So it's gonna be really cool to see when that happens, of course. In any case, we're getting close here now to the T-20 minute event. I'm seeing already we're on the 21 minutes to go here back to the Starlink coverage. I mean, it was, it will have been really bad if we didn't mention the next big mission, right, out of the Cape, because it's a really big one, Falcon Heavy, and also an awesome mission with the Roman Space Telescope. So, yeah, we had to do a bit there. But in any case, maybe Max, if you're here, what's that vent that we're about to see all about? Like, what's that? Oh, I think it's already starting. There we go.
Boom.
Yep,
there it is.
right on time.
So essentially what we're seeing is the beginning of SpaceX thermally condition the lines in the transporter erector in preparation for stage 2 liquid oxygen loading. Previously, they were flowing RP1 through it, and unlike RP1 on the first stage, it's not exactly super chilled for stage 2 because it doesn't need to be. But it does have to, those lines do have to be chilled to have liquid oxygen flowed through them, because the last thing you want to have happen is flow any sort of cryogenic material or fluid through any plumbing that is not either near or at the same temperature, because that will result in it rapidly evaporating, and once that happens, it turns into gas. It expands and can damage all sorts of your everything, essentially, from your lines, and especially once you get into engine shell, the last thing you want to have happen is damage your turbo pumps on your engine. So that is why thermal conditioning is so important, and we will be seeing the results of oxygen being flowed out, and we're currently seeing GOX coming out of it, or gaseous oxygen. And we should be seeing this for the next about 2.5 minutes or so. And once we see the venting wrap up, that'll be our visual indication that stage 2 LOX load is underway. So, and that cloud also serves as a great indicator for what the weather is like in Florida right now. And as you can see, there isn't a breath of wind over at the pad either, or here or at the pad either. So it's a very calm night, but also a very humid night, because that cloud is hanging around for quite a long time and not disappearing into the atmosphere. So it's very cool. We are very happy to see it. But oh my goodness, the air is like freaking soup tonight, I'm telling you. But yeah, that is a good visual sign, and hopefully we should see it wrapping up in about 2 minutes.
Yep, and I'm being asked more star stuff in the back channel, because apparently there's a dot above one of the NASA buildings. But yeah, we are getting close now here to the launch. Yeah, that's the dot. I wouldn't be surprised if that was Jupiter.
I think
Should be
that's
in the morning.
Betelgeuse. That's part
Is
of
that
Orion there.
Betelgeuse?
I believe so. No, Rigel.
Hang
Which
on.
which one's at the bottom? I think it might be Rigel. I'm not sure.
Let me check. Hang on. Let's do Astronomy Live here right now. Not to steal any thunder from Astronomy Live, because I know them and all that stuff. But yeah, let's see. So that camera is facing east. Is it a red dot? Because it could also be Mars.
No, it looks more blue.
So then that's Sirius. It could be Sirius. Maybe it's too low in the sky though.
Oh, you know what? It might be. Okay, I think I was looking at the wrong thing. Yeah, that's much. Yeah, that's much closer to the horizon. That might be Sirius, actually. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Uh, I basically pulled out Stellarium and put myself in at the Cape, and then faced east. And then I saw Mars, Betelgeuse, because yeah, it's what you said. It's also out there, but also Sirius is there, and it's closer to the horizon, and it's quite bright. It's the brightest star. But yeah, talking about stars, right? Soon enough, in about 60 minutes and 45 seconds, this whole thing will just turn into daylight again. So
Yes.
we will not see those stars. We'll see Starlink. I have more questions for you guys, so just get ready. Going back again to that whole conversation that we had before about the future retirement of the Falcon family, but there's a bit of a nuance here because Resistor Jet is asking, like, even if Falcon 9 launches reduce, will Falcon Heavy launches continue when Starship is operational? I feel like the answer is yes, right? Because there's, especially at the start, a lot of the transition will probably be Starlink, right? That's the easiest thing that they can do right away on Starship. It's already designed with a PES dispenser. There are a few other missions, though, that are going to take a little bit longer. When do you see, Max, I'm going to ask you a different question than the Resistor Jet. How about that? When do you see, like, Starship doing some kind of USSF mission, like a Space Force mission or something like that? Because that's going to be the point, the inflection point, I guess, for the rocket.
So there's still some missions on contract for both Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy, mostly Falcon Heavy for the Space Force and for NASA Science as well. So even though we're seeing a ramp down in Falcon cadence, there is still life left for Falcon, both 9 and Heavy, for stuff that's already on contract. But oh boy, when do I see Starship flying stuff for the Space Force? 2.5 to 3 years away, maybe, I think, depending on how operations go. But if they're trying to really ramp up launch cadence, the more they fly, the more data they're going to have to improve version 3 and going into version 4, and just to improve Starship as a whole. And obviously, the Space Force does not want any sort of vehicle that's risky for its payloads. Falcon. So I think probably 2.5 to 3 years, maybe at the soonest. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's closer to like 4 or 5.
Yeah, Skeleton Man then also asking, like, do you really think they are winding down Starlink from Florida, or is this just a lull in launches? Sometimes they do happen, right? But
they do, but they don't really have a need for Falcon 9 Starlink anymore. I mean, because the version 2 mini satellites, there can't be many of them left to launch unless they're going from Vandy, and even then, the constellation is probably somewhat close to being filled there. So the launch cadence from Vandy probably won't slow down for a bit, but in terms of the Group 6 and Group 10 shells that both launch here from Florida, don't know how much there's left. I don't think there's much, but SpaceX is all in on Starship right now, and the only Starlink satellites that can launch on Starship are the version 3s. Those cannot launch on Falcon 9 whatsoever. They are way too big and they are way too heavy. So yeah, I genuinely believe that we are winding down an era of Falcon 9 peak operations here in Florida, which is kind of sad to think about, especially with a booster like 1067 over on the pad right now, because it's been around for 5 years now, 5.5 years now, or no, 5 years. And this is its 37th flight, which is an insane milestone to hit for a reusable orbital class hardware. So, yes, I do genuinely believe that Falcon 9 cadence is we're not in a lull. Like it's genuinely coming down. And I would go so far to say on the record that I would not be surprised, with the exception of ISS missions and contracted government missions, that we see Falcon 9 operations as we know it wrap up in like 2.5 to 3 years.
Yeah, we'll have to see how many more flights we get out of it. Because, of course, this should be... Let me look at the stats that I wrote myself, because I don't remember them. It's a lot to remember. Yeah, this one should be the 681st orbital flight for Falcon 9. So maybe we get to like 800, like maybe another 100 missions or so, especially with all the customer missions that they have still left in the backlog. That can easily get up to 100 or so in the next 2 years or so, which frankly, it's still way less missions, right, than it's already launched, like it will mean about 50 launches a year, something like that. Way more than any other rocket out there, but still less than what Falcon 9 is used to. So yeah, 681st. So maybe we can get to 800 launches. We'll see how far it goes. Maybe chat, you can leave your guesses in chat and we'll see what you guys think.
This is also Falcon 9's 100th mission of the year, including the launches from both Florida and Vandy. The three other missions that add up to 103 are 2 from Starship and 1 from Falcon Heavy. So, yeah, we're already at 100 flights, but a majority of that has come from the West Coast, which is not something we're used to.
Yeah, it's actually the most active spaceport in the world right now, which is kind of crazy. It used to be the Cape. Now it is Vandenberg, but not for long. Once Starship starts flying, then
I don't like that. I don't like how that sounds, Alex.
It's not gonna last too long. It's okay. But yeah, it's gonna be a while until we see any other rocket getting up to that many flights. With 681 flights now with Falcon 9. So yeah, we'll see.
You know, Max, I think it's okay because we can continue to celebrate that we have the most visible launches of any spaceport, right?
And we launch the most amount of rockets, and we launch people. Yeah, I think we're in good shape here.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Well, you know, the good thing about visible rocket launches, when they are actually visible, is that then you can actually get really good footage of those, right? And really good pictures, especially you two are really excellent at that. And sometimes you get some really good prints in our shop as well. Because sometimes that is a really great source of getting some amazing photography of rocket launches. If it is a Falcon 9 or a Falcon Heavy coming up soon with that Roman Space Telescope launch, because it's going to be an odd one. That one will have a used booster and then 2 other new boosters. The center core and one of the side boosters are going to be new, whereas one of the side boosters is going to be on its 3rd flight. So it's going to be quite odd. Of course, you also have the solar eclipse that we just saw a few weeks ago. I was there myself in Leon in northern Spain in order to see that with my own eyes. Yeah, that was cool. I should say it was my first experience of this event, and if you have the opportunity, you should go as well to the next or whatever other eclipse you may want to see in the future. We're also going to have a lunar eclipse in just a few days, I think. So check that out as well. But yeah, many more, especially with Starship. Once they catch a ship, they catch a booster. So yeah, sometimes also as we add more prints, some of the older ones go away. Just saying. So if there's a few of the older ones that you want to still grab, now's your chance. Just living out there. But speaking of living it out there, I think Max has just now gone out to get some of those camera hardware and everything, getting ready for launch here. Because we're under 10 minutes. We're basically 8.5 minutes to go. I don't know if I have D still around.
Yeah, I can still hang out.
Yeah, there you go.
I think it's worth saying part of the reason for Max signing off so early is because of just how horrendous the bugs currently are at this time of day. I am also hiding in my car. My car is conveniently closer to my cameras. But yeah, the bugs in the soupy, swampy air right now, there are so many of them, and I really should have brought that up during the weather segment because it is an important consideration when you're talking about launch viewing weather.
Yeah, that is one of the things as well that, I mean, I don't know how you guys do it with the bugs and everything. I would be itching and really terrified of all of the bugs and everything. I think once going to Florida, it's too many times already for me. And so, yeah.
Yeah,
all
you
those-
had an encounter with a bee, if I recall correctly, didn't you?
Yeah, a wasp, which is worse. Because bees at the very least are a little bit more friendly. But yeah, wasps, I don't want to see them around me at all. And yeah, that was not nice. So, You see, guys, like this is the kind of thing that our field team has to endure here with all of the bugs and the heat and the humidity and everything. Is it too hot out there, D?
You know, it is almost a good temperature. It is not crazy hot. Like it's still hot enough, like you're sweating outside, and the air is more humid than would be perfect. But this is the best temperatures that you really get in Florida in the summer.
So you could say you're under your own chill sort of thing.
Earth chill, not a. No, I don't know. I don't know how
You
to
know
make
where
that
I'm
one
going,
work.
right? But yeah, I was trying to sort of do a joke that right now, as we are crossing under 6.5 minutes now, they should be now under engine chill on the first stage of Falcon 9, getting those engines conditioned for their operation. And they just wrapped up RP1 load on the first stage as well. So that means the first stage, all of the kerosene has been loaded. If you remember, Falcon 9 uses rocket grade kerosene for its fuel, just like planes basically, but planes, it's a little bit of a different mixture and formulation of kerosene basically. This is sort of like a special one for rockets that they use on Falcon 9. There's still an oxidizer because in space there's no oxygen, so you gotta carry it with you. And so they still have to load the liquid oxygen. That will end at T-minus 3 minutes for the first stage and at T-minus 2 minutes for the second stage. And let me see right now. I feel like we have a few more questions, but there's not a lot left here in the countdown. So if you have any more questions, maybe we have like time for one more and that's it. But I see somebody here like it's their birthday, I think. Yeah. Martine here saying, today I am 70 years old, being with you here right from day one. Thank you, NSF. Like, that's great. That's great, man, because it's like 9 candles for 70 years. How much is that ratio there? I guess we need more candles, right? Maybe 27 in a few days with Falcon Heavy. But yeah. Happy birthday. Let's see. So we should be getting close now also to the Stromback retract portion of the countdown. As we are getting ready for flight, the Stromback is this sort of support structure that helps support the rocket when it's horizontal. And then once, there we go, that's the call out that we're waiting for. The Stromback basically helps position the rocket when it's on the hangar. Then it gets rolled out using that Stromback, the transport director. Then it holds it up and helps it go up. But it's in the way for launch, so it needs to retract and get away. So first they open the clamps, as you can see there, down the bottom of the grid of the fairing. And then it'll move away about 1.8 degrees from the rocket. They do that first because that way they need to still be connected to the rocket, right? Like if they were to not go today, let's hope they do, but if they were not to go today, then they need to reconnect things. And so if you disconnect everything right now, that's not great. They're also still loading propellants for a few more minutes here. We should be hearing stage 1 liquid oxygen load complete in a few seconds, but they're still loading things. They're still connected to the rocket. So they want to retract, but not retract too much like they do, for example, at the Vandenberg launch pad, right? You want to make those connections a little bit short. The shorter they are, the less exposed they are to the launch forces and whatnot. So that's why it only retracts about 1.8 degrees. But at liftoff, it'll retract all the way back to 45 degrees away from vertical. We are now 3 minutes away. We should be closing
Stage
now
1,
on
LOX load is complete.
on that milestone. Stage 1 liquid oxygen load complete. So the first stage fully loaded. Second stage loading should be wrapping up in about 50 seconds. Then they'll be clearing out all of those lines that I just told you about that are connected to the rocket, right? All of those are going to be cleared out. They're going to be depressurizing some of those systems, venting. You can already see some of the venting from the rocket itself, but the Stromback will also be venting and everything. T-minus 1 minute, we'll get down to startup. That is when the onboard computers on Falcon 9 take over control of the countdown. They do a bunch of checkouts as well, automated checkouts of the rocket, making sure that everything is good to go. The rocket tanks will also be pressurized for flight, being able to support all of the loads that the rocket will see during ascent. And then, of course, hopefully a few seconds later, we'll hear the go for launch from the launch director.
Stage
So-
2, LOX load is complete.
There's the call out. So Falcon 9 now fully loaded with all of its RP1 fuel and liquid oxygen as well. Everything now on Falcon 9's tanks. And we can see now that venting from the Stromback. Getting ready to do all of those pushbacks. Should be hearing now the gas closeouts call out. And if you're new here, just coming in and tuning into the live stream, this is Falcon 9 launching from the Cape, from Cape Canaveral in Florida, taking 29 Starlink V2 mini satellites into low Earth orbit. This is going to be a record-breaking mission as booster B1067 flies for a 37th time. And of course, as you can see on the ticker down there at the bottom, the red one, it'll be landing on a Shortfall of Gravitas. It's too long of a name, so we have to use the acronym ASOG, so that's why we use that, if you're wondering what that means. Should be now
Falcon 9
coming
has
up on
entered
startup. Well, there you go. It's now on startup. Let's listen in for that go for launch from the launch director.
LD, go for launch.
There we go. Okay, so we are now 41 seconds away from liftoff. As always, we're going to see, hopefully, that engine ignition, the Stromback will retract, the Falcon 9 will lift off. It'll take a little bit of a few seconds to get that sound, but, you know, that's how it works with the speed of sound. It's a little bit too slow. 20 seconds to go. T-minus 10 seconds. There's engine ignition and liftoff. Another record-breaking flight for B1067. Man, that was a super crackly launch. Ain't that nice? Beautiful sights here as we see Falcon 9 ascending into orbit. We could hear also the VAV squeal as well. That was nice. But we should be coming up now on main engine cutoff in a few seconds from now, about 30 seconds to go. Then the two stages will separate. The second stage. Oh, I think this is Dee's view from a little bit further up north. That's so amazing. Look at that. That's a bit more of a sideways view. But yeah, as I was saying, we should be coming up on MECO, main engine cutoff. And it is right there. There you go. Should be having stage separation and MVAC ignition.
Main engine cutoff.
There's MVAC ignition.
Confirmed.
Stage separation confirmed as well. Look at that. With the stars in the background. And now here comes one of the things that we were talking before. We are expecting a jellyfish effect tonight where it's dark on the ground, and meanwhile the second stage is getting into sunlight. So in a few seconds to a few minutes we should see that. And fairing separation now confirmed as well. Oh, there we go. There was a brief onboard view there from the rocket. But yeah, there we go. We can see the MVAC plume expanding. I think it's still in darkness from what I can see, but it's getting brighter as we are getting here close. I can see the little dots of the fairings illuminated by the contrail of the MVAC exhaust. Somebody was asking why we can see the stars in the background. One of the things is that the rocket itself, when seeing from far away, it's still quite dim. It's not that really bright in the sky compared to when you are close up, when we were tracking it, for example, from the press side with Max's view. Is this one of the Cape cams? I cannot recognize this. Maybe Jay can tell us in the back channel. Yeah, this is one of the Cape cams. All right. But yeah, for people that might be up north, up the coast of the east coast of the United States, basically, you might start to be seeing some of that jellyfish effect in about a minute or so, I believe it is, when it should start, based on some of the timings that I'm seeing here. I still don't see it in daylight. But still, it's very visible because this thing is basically illuminating itself. It's the MVAC basically doing its own job. Still a very dim light, as you can see, compared to the stars in the background. Man, this is so cool. Like seeing the movement across the background of stars, you know, that's how it gives you like a bit of 3D view. You know what I mean, right? It's super nice. Five and a half minutes to go. We should be coming up very soon on that first stage entry burn. There you can see the limb of the Earth as seen from the booster. The booster is way earlier downrange, I guess, or rather uprange from the second stage. The second stage, I think it is about to enter now sunlight. There we can see on the right-hand side that second stage now being illuminated by the sun. As I said, it was about a minute to go from when I last talked about it. Oh, you can see the... Ooh, look at that. That's this camera, I think? Yeah.
Has saved.
Now it's... Yeah, there we go.
Stage 1 entry.
Stage 1. That's the interburn that we just heard, and we can see now as well. Wow. I mean, that second stage jellyfish effect is super cool. As we were predicting, it will happen a little bit later into the flight than we're used to, but still it happened.
Stage 1 entry burn shut
So,
down.
there we go. Good entry burn on the first stage. If you're up the coast of the United States, on the east coast of the United States, go out there, look at this. You really cannot miss it. Look at that. That is huge as well. Like that's impressive in the sky. If I were to look at that and not know what's going on, I would be going crazy, basically. Wow. And is that this view or more of the Cape Cam views? I think that's probably Cape Cam. Oh, the previous one was Max. Ooh, okay. So this one is Cape.
Stage 1 transonic.
We could hear that call out. Stage 1 is transonic, getting ready for that landing on a Shortfall of Gravitas. You can see a little light there from the deck of the drone ship. Stage 2 still illuminated by the sun, getting that jellyfish effect on the ground. Whoever is up the coast of the United States on the East Coast there, and part of their coffee, they're probably starting to think, "Oh, do I have my glasses on? Because there's a blurry thing in the sky."
Stage 1 landing burn.
There we go. Stage 1 landing burn.
Stage 2 is control. Stage 1 like deploy. Stage 1 landing confirmed.
And there we go.
Stage 2 FTS has
That's
saved.
37th landing for B-1067, acing another flight up and down with that rumble and that amazing sound of the landing
In that
of
shutdown.
that booster. And also the second stage,
Nominal
now
orbit
getting into
insertion.
orbit. Man, that was an awesome flight there. Second stage now in its parking orbit. Should be getting ready for another burn in about 40 minutes from now, 45 minutes, closer to that, for that second burn. And then 10 minutes later, the satellites will be deployed. Wow. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of people seeing it from Florida, from Virginia. Let's see, if you watched this launch, where were you from? Like, where were you? And I hope you were looking up to the sky, by the way, with our stream, of course, open, but looking up to the sky if you were watching it with your own eyes, please. Because phones aside, right? Like, that's sort of the rule when you watch a launch. Fort Myers, visible from DC, wow. Northeast Georgia, Virginia. Also Augusta, Georgia. Ooh, New York City. Northeast Tennessee, wow. South Carolina. Baltimore, Maryland. Long Island, New York. Wow. Some people from abroad as well. Christchurch, New Zealand didn't see it. Hey, look, I'm from Seville, Spain, so I also didn't see it. It's way daylight here. But I get you, I get you. One day we'll get to see this with our own eyes. I saw one Falcon 9 launch, but it went to the clouds, so didn't see much. My own.
As per tradition, whenever you come to Florida.
Yeah, I guess, right. Hi, Max. Welcome back.
Hello, hello.
How was that? Man, that was cool.
Man, that was a mad dash. I didn't have enough time to get everything ready, plus the walkout here. So I was a bit late to the tracker, but thankfully I got everything for the stream framed up. And that jellyfish was a bit underwhelming for how long we didn't see it. But it was a fairly late bloomer as it ascended farther down range. Kind of as we expected it might happen, but the best views for that are well up the east coast of the U.S. So if anybody else saw it and got photos or videos, please tag us and post them on socials. We'd love to see it.
Indeed. Wow, Kentucky as well. That's quite far west. A lot western than I thought. In terms of where they saw this. I mean, a lot of people are putting in chat where they
Kentucky is
saw this
also
from.
just very inland. Like it's not even close to the Atlantic, and it's also pretty far north, relatively speaking.
Oh, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania as well.
That's
Jersey.
not surprising. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little bit closer to the coast, of course. North Carolina. Yeah, a lot of people tuning in. Hey, shout out to all of you because you woke up early or stayed up late, whatever side of the bed you are, basically in this case. But yeah, if you're just waking up, get a coffee, and congratulations, you saw an amazing thing that humans do this thing very often. In fact, so that's cool.
I'm like, something's telling me, Alex. Like I keep refreshing SpaceX's X page because, like, remember when they announced that they were retiring Just Read the Instructions, like on a whim, like randomly one night, and it was like a 4 a.m. mission. I'm like uploading because I'm like terrified they're going to upload a post about like this was this booster's 37th and final flight, and so on and so on and so on. Like I'm terrified that they're going to do that. So right now I'm like refreshing them to see if that does or doesn't happen. I don't think it's going to, but like it's PTSD from Just Read the Instructions.
We'll see what they say. Of course, we are gonna have replays of this because it was awesome to see. So we have to re-see it, review it, replay it, whatever reason you want to think about that. And we'll have, of course, the slow-mo from D as well, because I've seen them already saying in the back channel, working telescope slow-mo. So it's gonna be a telescope one, not the other wider view. So I'm really looking forward to that one. But in any case, yeah, I'm seeing way more chats here talking about the views. Yeah. Somebody was asking, yeah, how is the squeal? Because I heard the squeals. It was very clear today. It was very crackly, this launch, compared to some of the closer ones that I've watched, basically.
I mean, yeah. I mean, but that's kind of typical for conditions like this. So it's very humid. There's a lot of moisture in the air, and that kind of is atmosphere around helps actually to carry sound energy better than otherwise like dry conditions would. So that's why it sounded so much more intense to the microphone and to your ears, and why the VAB squeal may have been just that much more vibrant tonight. It's just because sound carries a lot better through thick air like this. And of course, this is typically how it is in the summertime in Central Florida at this time of year. So that's not surprising at all.
Yeah, people were also saying that going back to seeing this jellyfish and everything, because a lot of people were thankful that it's clear in most of the Florida skies here, so they were able to see it. Some other people as well up the coast, they were saying that it was clear, so that was the way that they were able to see it. Maybe that's why. Is it too clear out there as well?
It is very clear. Besides those storm clouds like way out on the horizon that were no threat to us here, it is a crystal clear night. The moon went down a few hours ago, and there's like next to no wind. So there is an incredible clarity to the clouds this morning, or the skies and the stars. So yeah, it is very, very clear right now.
Nice. Yeah. Somebody asking as well, will there be another jellyfish that will be more visible from farther north than New York? I mean, that would be a quite weird jellyfish, right? That it could be seeing even further north than that.
I mean, if the timing is just right, you should be able to see it that far.
Yeah.
I think I saw somebody post something about seeing it in like Nantucket, which is also very far north up the U.S. But at that point as well, you're also approaching the point of second engine cutoff on stage 2. So that's about the limit of how far north you'll be able to see it in terms of while in ascent under engine power. But the timing was just right this morning that if you were like northern east coast of the U.S., it should have been very bright and very vibrant for you.
Yeah. Oh, we have replays now. Here we go. Thanks for that, Jay. Let's see.
Ascending from behind, you'll thank me later.
Yeah. The future. That's going to be where starships will be transported. They're going to be using that to transport boosters and ships horizontally. They put that canopy sort of to protect those vehicles.
I always find this shot kind of sad because like it's the past, the present, and the future in one frame.
Is this second fleet cam? What
It looks
I
like it.
believe,
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah, the first one was fleet cam 1. This is the second one, a little bit
There she
wider as
comes.
well. Yep. Oh, here she comes. Nope. Copyright.
No, Alex.
We can see also the other Falcon 9 there, vertical at port. I believe that should be Beaton 78 on its 30th flight.
I think that one
After
came
its 30th
in
flight.
either yesterday morning or this morning. It came in pretty recently. No, a couple days ago. Had to have. Because
Yeah.
obviously a Shortfall Gravitas is out there now.
That's the thing with just one drone ship, right? Like, there's not a lot of options.
No, there's not.
It used to be that there would be like 2 boosters, sometimes 3, if there were 2 on the stands, like on the dock, and then another one coming on another drone ship that just came from another mission. I still remember those times.
As do
It was
I.
last year.
There was a couple of occasions where there were 3 boosters vertical in port, and Kiko Donchev, VP of launch for SpaceX, actually commented on a couple of our posts with that, and he said that it was just
Ooh,
too
look at
windy
the
to break
star.
over. Yeah.
See the star almost disappearing there, but it's still
Mhm.
holding. It's trying to hold. Oh, and that's the brightest star in our sky series. So, are you serious?
I am
I had to
serious.
do the
And don't
joke.
call me Shirley.
Yeah.
Just seeing a bit of twilight now towards the east, and the exhaust remnants of stage 2 are beginning to catch the light more than they did before. So we should be in for a pretty vibrant show of noctilucent clouds here pretty soon.
Oh, somebody's saying they saw it from a plane out of Orlando.
Ooh, very
Those
nice.
are special.
That's a very early morning flight, though. My God.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Orlando Airport at this hour is like a ghost town. Like it's like no one in there is human at this time.
I've been there though, because I had to take a flight over Orlando at like 6 a.m., something like that. I think it was.
I think I
So-
had a 5:30 out one time, and it was like one of the worst experiences ever in terms of an airport, just because it's like nobody wants
Yeah.
to be there. Everyone's still half asleep. It's people are zombies.
Yeah, I have to look it up, but I think it was around that time of day. Yeah. Closer to 7. Okay, well, it was still early. But yeah, we can see there. One of the things as well that some people usually ask us, like, oh, what's that thing that's sort of dropping from the rocket or whatever? That's a lens flare, by the way, that you're seeing there, sort of going down as the rocket goes up. It's not a real thing; it's just an artifact of the lens. It's still cool though. Look at that.
Yeah, it's just
So,
the
like-
internal. It's the internal reflection of the light
Yeah.
in there in all the glass.
It's sort of like a 2001 sort of vibe there.
Kind of, yeah.
Ooh, I'm seeing a shot from D in the back channel.
Yeah, it's getting
Ah,
there.
yeah, we can see it there also live. That is the cloud left from the exhaust of the rocket on the left. That is a live view. And we have a replay with audio. I hear.
You mean the right?
On the left.
The what?
Left replay, right live. Replays with audio. Here's the rumble. Little squeal there.
Just a little bit.
But yeah, we're talking about the live view on the right. That is a noctilucent cloud left behind by the exhaust of Falcon 9. Right around this time that we're seeing here on the replay as well, because it's about that altitude.
Indeed, it is.
But yeah, that water vapor being left from the engine ignition of this rocket up there, left over, then it crystallizes and then it turns into this noctilucent cloud. Still getting shown on or shining on, whatever. Yeah, by the sun, but still dark on the ground.
Yeah, it's high enough to where it's catching the sun's rays before we are on the ground, and it's high enough to where it's pretty much still pitch black here on the ground. There is a hint of twilight now on the horizon that is a bit obscured by the clouds still, but it is getting brighter over there, and so is that exhaust cloud over pad 39A now from here.
Yeah. Well,
And I have
folks,
to say, I think the clouds in the distance have sort of faded as it's getting a little bit brighter. Like the stars are out, and yeah, that jellyfish is just growing in the sky.
look at that. You can see how huge it got as well. Like, that's an amazing. Is that Max in the car? You're getting back in the car now? Yeah, I think.
No, that is not me. No.
Oh, okay. Well, I think you guys should get back to your cars, getting out of the box and everything, because it's time probably now to
Did that just
head out back.
did that just fly through the belt of Orion there?
Maybe? I got no idea. Hang on. I gotta look at that again. See, now you're gonna take a little bit longer to go away, to go back home. But no,
I think
seriously.
it did.
Yeah, that might be it. Yeah. It's late now. It's about to be 6 a.m. in about 10 seconds. So you should get some sleep, some rest, get out of the bugs. Thanks, Max, for being here and getting these amazing shots.
Thank you very much, everyone, for coming to hang out this morning. That was a pleasure, and we'll see how the Florida Starlink era progresses. But we are coming towards the end here, which is kind of sad. But as always, thank you very much for coming to hang out, and we'll see y'all again very soon. Nancy Grace Roman coming right up.
Indeed. And Dee, also, thanks for being here with, it was like a telescope and a camera as well?
Yeah, so you saw the wider camera, and you're about to see some of those telescope views from a longer distance off. But it was a pleasure to be here. A beautiful morning. See y'all on the next one.
Nice. So we're going to see that here as we wrap up. Of course, I should thank as well Jay for being the producer of the show, pulling all the levers and pushing all the buttons and being able to show us here these views from our robotic cameras there at the Cape. An amazing noctilucent cloud left behind by the Falcon 9. And of course, we're looking forward to that Falcon Heavy launch later this week, August 30th at 7:26 a.m. Eastern time. So it's going to be another morning launch. Not a jellyfish though, because it's going to be after sunrise. It's going to be very close after sunrise. So we're going to have some really amazing sunrise shots with Falcon Heavy getting frosty. So stay tuned for that. We're going to have coverage starting T-minus 2 hours for launch. So going to be really, really interesting. And of course, we're going to be back as well with more Starship coverage out of the Starbase. Basically, we have a booster potentially rolling out later today, and then hopefully a static fire as well. I've been Alex. I'm always Alex. I'm not going to do the Ryan Caden outro here, but in any case, enjoy the slow-mo and see you all on the next one.
And here we go.
There's the deluge. Here's ignition.
Traveling up.
Did you just do a Kerbal?
Back to the moon and beyond.
Put that in the big bag, Jingle.
Back at home, we all have a lot of work to do, but from here, that sure looks like a perfect flow.
Propulsion continues to be normal.
We did have an observation. 343 unfolds to go.
It's orange.
Water towers can fly!
Bingo! Right in the center.
Where's Jacqueline? There it is!
That was surreal.
That's not what we want to see.
No!
Oh my god.
Yikes. You bet. We don't need any more of these.